The first snowfall. The first snowfall of the year has always been my favorite. There's something magical about the world going quiet, muffled under a blanket of white. My friends and I had been waiting for it all week. When the first flakes started falling, we piled into Jake's old SUV, laughing like kids as we headed toward the woods. The trail was one we'd taken dozens of times in summer, but snow made everything feel new. The trees stood like sentinels, their branches weighed down with fresh powder. It was beautiful, peaceful. "Let's hike to the clearing," Sarah suggested, pulling her scarf tighter around her neck. She loved taking photos, and the open field at the center of the woods was her favorite spot. The snow was falling heavier by the time we got there, the ground already covered in a thick layer. We threw snowballs, built a lopsided snowman, and posed for Sarah's pictures. The clearing felt like another world, untouched and pristine. Then we heard it, a low, deep sound, a groan that seemed to come from the earth itself. "What was that?" Jake asked, his voice uneasy. "Probably a tree branch snapping," I said, trying to convince myself as much as the others. But it didn't sound like wood. It sounded alive. We all froze when it came again, louder this time, echoing through the clearing. The snow beneath us shifted slightly, almost imperceptibly. "Okay, that's weird," Sarah said, gripping her camera like it could protect her. "We should head back," Jake said, already turning toward the trail. But the snow wasn't just snow anymore. It was moving, not in the way snow drifts in the wind, but in a writhing, deliberate way, like something underneath was waking up. I reached down and brushed the snow aside. Beneath it, the ground was black, like charred wood or old, decayed flesh. "We need to go, now," I said, my voice trembling. We started running, but the snow seemed to rise up around us, pulling at our legs, slowing us down. Sarah screamed, and when I turned, she was gone, just gone. Her camera lay half buried in the snow. "Sarah!" Jake yelled, but his voice was swallowed by another groan, this one so loud it felt like the trees themselves were shuddering. We kept running, but the trail was gone, the woods unfamiliar in the storm. The snow had swallowed everything, and the groaning sound was all around us now, rising and falling like some terrible ancient chant. Jake grabbed my arm, his eyes wild. "What's happening?" "I don't know," I shouted back, and then he was gone too, yanked backward so fast I barely had time to scream his name. I didn't stop running. I couldn't. The groaning grew louder, the snow swirling so thick I could barely see. I stumbled, fell, and when I looked up, I was back in the clearing. The snow had stopped falling. The world was silent. Except for the groan. It came again, low and resonant, and this time I felt it beneath me. I looked down, and the black ground was splitting open, a jagged crack spreading outward. Something was rising. And then I woke up. At least, I think I woke up. I'm back in my bed now, but the room feels cold. Too cold. And when I look out the window, the snow is still falling. But it doesn't look right. It moves.